What's up, Bears fans, and bear down. Bear down more than ever now that we're in this mess. Man, that game today. Whoa, that was rough. That was rough. I don't know if I've witnessed a game like that in a long time where it just completely ripped every one of your emotions out, took every piece of you, and just made you feel deflated. And that's what I'm sure all of you felt too, because that was rough. Couldn't laugh about it in the moment, but I can laugh about it now. Here we are moving forward. And I'm putting these out earlier than normal. I'm starting to do more and more mock drafts, and it's already Bears off-season time. And I think that needs to start right now. I think it needs to be Black Monday tomorrow. I think Matt Eberflus and Luke Getsy both need to be fired tomorrow, 100%. And we'll struggle through the Minnesota game and then have a whole bye week to put together whatever we need to put together, but it's time for those two guys to go. It's that 100% on them, and there's no excuse for it. So, right after the game ended, I started putting together this second um, mid-season rebuild. What I would do with the off-season re-signings, free agent signing, mock draft, and with the Bears having two picks in the top five, it really gives a lot of flexibility. There's so much draft capital that we have so many options we can do, as you'll see in this video. So if you don't mind, please like and subscribe. Put a lot of work into this, so I would appreciate anything you can do to help me move things forward and build this channel that I'm just starting and getting going. And I hope you enjoy what I put together. Take a lot of pride in it. I really enjoy the research that goes into this, and I hope you enjoy it. All right, so the one big positive of today is that the Bears get better draft position. So these are the standings as of today. Obviously, the Eagles and Chiefs haven't played tomorrow, but the Bears are solely in possession of that number one overall pick, and that's a beautiful thing for us. All right, so for this video, I'm going to go through our entire structure of our team, the players we have under contract for next year. I won't go into the complete salary cap breakdown, but at the end, I'll put what cap space we do have, and then I'll put with our free agent signings and my proposed hypotheticals where we draft, what cap space we have left after all that. And I think there's really a way for the Bears in great shape, even after this offseason, making some good re-signings and a couple free agent signings and a solid draft that we're still in great shape moving forward for the future. So on offense and defense, we've got a total of 36 guys under contract coming back next year. A lot of guys that will sign to one-year deals, or a couple guys and a couple free agent signings I can see us doing. So as it stands right now, we need about 17 guys to fill that 53-man roster. Then of course we've got a lot of the same guys and guys that we have in our practice squad and some of the guys we keep bringing back. I'm not going to go through all those. I'm going to stick to the main 53. But you'll see from these the guys that we still have under contract. I think everyone is fairly on the same page after today. So if nothing else, I think today really solved that equation for us. Ryan Poles is not the problem. He proved today that he can put a good product out there. I mean, other than the wide receivers that he drafted, both Bayless Jones and Tyler Scott are to be determined. I think Bayless Jones at this point, everyone knows that he's kind of, let's just cut him at this point. Tyler Scott, great speed, but man, he's got something rough about adapting to the NFL, and hopefully he can figure that out. He's still a rookie. I'm not giving up on Tyler Scott. That's not what I'm saying at all. But hopefully he can work through that. But other than that, Ryan Poles has done a great job with the draft, with free agency, and it's year one of the rebuild for him. Well, year two, but it's still middle of the rebuild for him from a really crappy situation that was left behind from Ryan Pace. He's built our draft capital back up. We've got tons of salary cap space, so don't care who it is. But today, let's fire Matt Eberflus and Luke Getzey. Fire them both, get someone in here, and then we can focus on finding someone in the offseason that fits and that would be a good fit for Justin Fields too. Okay, so I won't necessarily speak on every transaction that I'm suggesting in here. I kind of just let it play for itself because I imported some videos and stuff, and I'm going to show some stuff on the guys that I really like. But I did a lot of research on these guys. Bayless Jones just is not working out. I think everybody's kind of on the same boat on that one. If not, I'd like to know your reasonings why. List them. Let me know. After he dropped that wide open touchdown in the end zone, that kind of did it for me, right in his lap. And there is a stud on the Panthers practice squad that I don't have a clue why they haven't brought up. His name's Matt Landers. If you haven't looked into him, look into him. I'll attach a little clip right here for you. But he's tall, he's lean, he's quick. He's got his hands are glue. He's got the ability to break tackles. I just think he's a great guy that we could steal for cheap. I'm not saying he's going to become our wide receiver 1, 2, or 3, but he's a great option. See if he could become a punt returner. See if he could become a guy that we throw in there, on off downs. I don't know. Just options. Every team needs 5 or 6 good receivers. So he's a good option, and I would love to see us drop Bayless Jones and pick him up today.
Get a nice play here for Noah Jindor as Ehlers just throws up basically a punt, and it's caught by Landers inside the 10, and he walks into the end zone. What are we doing here? Touchdown on a pass that was thrown up basically like a punch, and it's a 30-yard touchdown, and Seattle has extended the lead to 23-13.
Well, I'd rather be lucky than good. And I'll say this, Kalen Barnes, it looked like the receiver might have had a little bit of him and pulled him back.
I have absolutely nothing against Mercedes Lewis. I just think from the combine and the draft, I really like this kid, Zach Kuntz. He was a 7th-round pick from the Jets, and he's been sitting on their practice squad. He's tall. He needs to put on some meat. He needs to bulk up to be in the NFL, to be a solid tight end, but we're solid with Cole Kmet. Anybody who doesn't think we're solid with Cole Kmet needs to really take a hard look at that. So with both Mercedes Lewis and Robert Tonyan being on their 1-year contracts, I don't see us bringing Mercedes Lewis back next year. So this is more of a move for next year right now, stealing Zach Kuntz off the practice squad of the Jets and having him for 3 solid years after this on our team on a cheap contract, developing him. I think that's what this is about. So I really like this
move. North Carolina alum. Now Max staying in the pocket, lofting one as his tight end. The catch is made, keeps his feet, and he's in.
Keep going.
Zach Kuntz stays on his feet.
What is our best throw? Slant over the middle. And you see Kuntz coming all the way across, breaking a tackle, staying on his feet, nose for the end slot.
Wolf to throw, pressure up the middle, gets it off to his tight end. There you made the call, Mark. Wolf will throw. Cavs bring just 4, and there he is. Kuntz inside Virginia Tech.
I don't think anybody's going to argue that Cody Whitehair has to go. He's the most expensive offensive lineman that we have, and he's on the bench now. So, and he deserves to be on the bench. He put some great years in for us. He played an exceptional level, but it's just one of those situations where he's past his prime, and he needs to be replaced with youth, and he's got to go with how much we can say about him. And the same with Eddie Jackson. A lot of people already feel this way. These are the 2 cuts that everybody's really planning on anyways. Nothing wrong with Eddie Jackson. He's just not playing at the caliber level where he's being paid. And with us being able to save over $12 million that we can allocate other places, and we can sign a solid center with that much money. Just another unfortunate cut candidate. My 2 main re-signings are Darnell Mooney and Deonta Foreman. They possibly could go elsewhere, but with how they've played, I've kind of combined what Sport Track says about their estimated salary, and they didn't have huge breakout years, especially Mooney. He's kind of regressed, and I think he likes being in Chicago. He really likes Justin Fields. He's got so much that we can really tap into too. I don't think he's a wide receiver 2, but I think he's a solid wide receiver 3. So I think this is a value where we can get him at and be fair and equitable. And the same with Deonta Foreman. He might be able to garnish a little bit more somewhere else, but I think it's a fair contract for him. So that's where I put them at. And then as well on the defense and special teams, I've got Jalen Johnson and Cairo Santos both being re-signed. Jalen Johnson's a tough one. I put this somewhere where I think was fair because I think he wants right around this range or a little bit more. But other than a huge game, he hasn't really played. And he's great. He's doing great. He's playing top tier cornerback, but he's not playing break the market cornerback. And I think this is the higher end of what he should receive. But with our cap space, I think we can afford it, and I think he deserves it. So that's where I put him at. About $17.5 million a year. And Cairo Santos, he's undervalued by people in the league that you listen to. He's never on the top 10 lists or anything, but he's hardly missed anything this year, and he's Mr. Consistency. So if we let Cairo Santos go, we're not very smart. We got to re-sign him. He's a solid kicker. He's the most solid kicker we've had for a while. So then we get to my major free agency signing, and I think it's one of our biggest needs by far. We addressed our number one biggest need in defensive end with Montez Sweat. We can address the other needs for there in the draft. But other than that, center has been a clear position of weakness for us. If you watch both Cody Whitehair and Lucas Patrick go through this year making mistake after mistake, and Cody Whitehair thinking that he's snapping balls to the moon and just crazy inconsistent. Connor Williams is really a stud at center. He's one of the highest rated in the entire league. He's coming up on free agency, and I think he's worth going out and spending the money for. 4 years, $56 million, $14 million a year average. Absolutely worth it. He's healthy. He's still young, so he's a perfect guy, I think, from all the research I did. There's 2 or 3 guys that I think we could sign, but I really like Connor Williams the most, and I think we sign him, bring him in to make him a staple in the middle of our lineup. So after the hypothetical signings and re-signings and free agency, these are all the guys on the roster that are under contract now after our hypotheticals. So I think overall it's like 41. And then we'll go through the draft, and then after the draft, we always sign a guy or two to, round out the 53-man roster. So I'm going to go through all of that. Here's where I've got all of our team needs after free agency and the re-signings before the draft. So going into the draft, here's the needs that we have that we need to take care of. And I think everyone's kind of turning that corner where we're not thinking that we need quarterback with the first overall pick, but maybe there still are some of you. That's not my opinion. I really think that defensive end on the other side, getting that pressure on the defense, is still our top need with a wide receiver. With Marvin Harrison Jr., you're going to see in here, you can't pass on him. So just like on the movie Draft Day, where it's Marvin Harrison Jr., no matter what, that's what we need to have. So that and our defensive line, you can see here I've ranked it out 1 to 8, what we need to take care of. Kind of check that out, and we'll go into the draft. This is the draft order as of today after the Bears lost with the tiebreakers and everything. I put 3 trades on here. I think the Bears absolutely need to try to get some more draft capital. With what we have, It's so valuable, and that's the biggest thing we were lacking when Ryan Poles took over, and he knows how to work that. So I'm going to go through this mock draft with trades, and the 3 trades I see happening in the first round on this one are we're going to trade down with the Patriots, who are going to trade up to get a quarterback. They're going to trade up for Caleb Williams. We're going to trade down with them. Then the Commanders, who also want a quarterback, are going to trade up with the Cardinals, who also are looking to do the same thing. They're feeling good with Kyler Murray after he's come back and played pretty solid. And then with our number 4 overall pick, we're going to trade down after we pick Marvin Harrison Jr. at number 3. We're going to trade that down with the Jets, who want to move up and get one of the elite tackles because that's the Jets' biggest need. So they're going to trade up and get Olufashanu at number 4, and we're going to trade back to build some more capital. And I think that's the most solid route for the Bears to go, as you'll see as we go through this mock draft. So I'm not going to talk through the whole thing. I'm just going to let you kind of check it out. But I'll throw some videos in of some of the guys that I really like too. Some of the main guys, I'll throw some videos in and hope we can get a taste of some of the guys that I think we should draft. So just like last year before the draft, with the number 1 overall pick, that's the big advantage you have is you can shop it before the draft. Once you get into the draft, you don't really know what's going to happen, so it's hard to shop that beforehand. But with having the number 1 overall pick, I did several scenarios. I used the trade value chart. I did everything, even taking into account the extra value for it being Caleb Williams and Drake May, the quarterback sweepstakes this year. And we might get even bigger haul than this. We might get less of a haul. There might be a player instead of some of these picks. But this is a very accurate representation of what we should receive for that number 1 overall pick. Moving down to number 3 with New England, there is a lot of value in that number 1 pick. So what I've got us doing with that trade is trading down, getting their 1st, 2nd, and 3rd from this year, 1st and 3rd next year, and 2nd and 4th in 2026. Yeah, that's a lot, but it's actually really right according to value. They're paying more, but it's right in the value of what you pay for the sweepstakes of trading up to number 1. It's right there. So a lot of research into that, and that is a pretty solid return. And I don't think the Bears can pass up on that to drop down from 1 to 3. What you're doing is you're risking somebody else picking Marvin Harrison Jr. at 1 or 2, but with that return and the big needs the Bears have, it's something you have to do, and that's the one debatable thing for me with this whole thing. Marvin Harrison Jr. is my guy that we really need. We are really lacking on wide receivers, but we're also really lacking that draft capital. So I tried to balance it on this one, and I hope when draft day comes, it works out as well as that I've got it here. It never does. But this is why we do mock drafts. It's fun. So hopefully it does.
Take it to Henderson, pitch it, Harrison, open space, there he goes, Marvin Harrison Jr., touchdown, Ohio State. Get it to the playmaker. Matched up with a true freshman, Chance Rucker. Now they go to help, and they are looking for the end zone. Harrison one-on-one. He's got it. A one-man wrecking crew. Marvin Harrison Jr., touchdown, Ohio State.
Well, by formation, they saw there was no safety help, and you're not going to win one-on-ones against Marvin Harrison. Beautifully thrown ball by Kyle McCord over the outside shoulder. Impossible to defend, and even more difficult.
Second quarter. And Henderson in the backfield. Mabuka the motion man. Play action. McCord. End zone. Again. Marvin Harrison Jr. is magical. His 3rd touchdown.
On this route. Watch him go in, out, the little out fake, freezes Spencer, and then back to the inside. Beautiful route. And that's the thing about him. He's big, he's fast, he's got great hands, and I really...
As I said before, I have us trading down with the Jets. They're trading up for Olufashanu. We're going to get their 8th pick. Value for number 4 isn't nearly as good as it is for number 1, but still solid value in return for this. It helps out the Bears long term. So we're going to get their number 8 pick, their 3rd round, number 72 overall pick, and next year's 2nd round pick for that. So we've made 2 huge trades. That's the advantage of having those 2 top 5 picks. And look how it sets us up for the future. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th of our own next year. The Panthers from last year's trade, 2nd round pick. The Dolphins for giving them the mess of Chase Claypool, who's a mess down there too. And then 1st and 3rd from Patriots and 2nd from the Jets. And then the year after, also having the 2nd and 4th from the Patriots. Ryan Poles is the gift that just keeps on giving.
Yards and 7 points. Virginia trying to answer. Musket is intercepted! A house call! Pick 6 for Cam Kitchens! And just like that, Miami takes the lead here at home.
You rely on your All-American and Cam Kitchens, and he does a great job of just stepping right in front of that one and just taking it to the house. Very easy read for him.
Go check out some of the guys that I'm putting on this. Marvin Harrison Jr., Leatu Latu, Cameron Kitchens, even the next guy that I'm going to put on here. There's a lot of good talents in this draft, and I'm not going to go through everything on them, but I'm going to put some highlight clips on some of the ones I like. There's some really good draft picks here. So on this next trade, I've got the Bears actually moving up. We've got a couple of picks right there together, 67, 68, 72. We want to move up for one of these tackles. There's a lot of really good tackles, and not all of them are going to go at the top of the draft. So got us moving up with the Browns. We're going to give them 68, our 135th pick, our 4th round, 135, and next year's 3rd round pick to be able to move up and select a tackle. That way we can have some versatility there with Braxton Jones and come a competition with him as we get into training camp and fight it out for that starting spot.
Game that's been played that way all night long. Here's Cook on 3rd and 7. Pressure up the middle. Tries to extend the play. Trying to turn the corner, and Princely Uman-Mielen tracks him.
4th and 7. Off the edge, pressure going deep. Long for Rice. Touchdown.
Looking at the interior line on it, I want to see this route right
Lions look formation. Here's number 2. Great impersonation of his pop. Skinny post route. Goes straight to the hole, man, and had to wait on that ball. He could have...
Williams, plenty of time. Now he's running out. Now he sees green grass. In the corner, busted coverage. Touchdown. Brandon Rice just kept moving.
He runs out of real estate. He has to mirror the quarterback. But with Caleb Williams, it's tough to do that sometimes because he's like a whirling.
He's set for Caleb Williams on 3rd down and 10 with USC trailing 14-0. Williams, deep shot. Receiver, it's caught. Brendan Rice into the end zone for a touchdown. A moon ball by Caleb Williams on the money, 74 yards. What a play by Caleb Williams. Pressure around him, steps up in the pocket, and it's Brendan Rice. One-on-one down the field with Jalen Davies. Davies gets run pass, falls down, and that pass could not have been delivered any better. You mentioned it, partner. It was a moon bomb.
For those that don't know, Brendan Rice is the son of Hall of Famer Jerry Rice. He's got the genetics, he's got the drive, the determination. He's got his dad in his corner. He just didn't quite break out until the senior year, and now he's breaking out. But still, people aren't putting him high on their draft boards. He may move higher than the 3rd round, which might make it so that we can't pick him up. But where he's at right now, some drafts have him actually lower than where I put him. But I think he's still there, developmental still. He'll still get better and better as he gets older and more experienced. Zach Frazier, I didn't put a video together for. He's a stud center, though. I like him. I like him more than Cedric Van Pran. I know a lot of people won't agree with that. I just think he's got a lot more upside. I like signing Connor Williams and bringing him in behind to continue to develop. I think that's great long term. See what we can develop.
I remember growing up and watching James Laurinaitis. I don't know, maybe 10 years old. Laurinaitis was a linebacker. Damn, like how cool would it be, like if you could be that guy, like if you could be like him. Came in as a linebacker, played a couple games at defensive end. Coach Day, he said, I think you could be an NFL tight end. So I'm like, okay, I'll try it. So I hated tight end. I just couldn't figure it out. There's always something to learn, always a step you got to fix. All the nuances of the blocking, know where the ball's going to hit, your body-wise, your spacing-wise in the route game.
He wasn't feeling it, and I just want to run and hit people and all that. He would play linebacker in the Rose Bowl.
Keeper, nothing doing. That's Cade Stover that can work at tight end. Seems to like playing linebacker. He does.
It was awesome. It was still to this day one of the most fun games of my life. It was at that point where everything clicked, and that's when I was like, okay, like I can do this just on the offensive side of the ball.
Reset. Good. Get your face out. Get your face out. Get out.
Cade came to me, still on defense, and said, hey, can you help me with my agility?
There you go. Take off.
He wanted to get looser hips or better feet or whatnot.
One more.
He got frustrated, but he learned those new techniques.
Nice move. Touchdown, Buckeye. Second touchdown of the game for Cade Stover.
Some guys you can't coach hard because they're sensitive or not used to it. I would always say, you can't do 20 pounds more. You can't do 2 more reps, and challenge him that way, and he'd get mad.
You called me soft a lot, and that always pissed me off. I'm like, come on, man. Like,
when an athlete allows you to coach them hard, then they'll give you everything they got.
Down the middle. Got it to the tight end.
First game of the year in Indiana, he caught a pass over the middle and turned around and stiff-armed the defender.
Breaking tackles, stiff arms his way.
And I remember a drill we did. I said, if I could hit you with a tennis ball, then your stiff arm's not accurate enough. And sure enough, I threw the tennis ball at him, and he struck the tennis ball, and think he might have cussed a little bit as he was doing so. But it reminded me of that play. So yeah, they say nice catch. No, I say nice habits.
Stover has his second touchdown today.
Now I wouldn't even want to go play linebacker anymore. I feel so much happier over here right now.
It's Stover at the 20, right side. 10, 5, touchdown, Cade Stover.
I was born and raised in Lexington, Ohio. It's a small town. My dad found the opportunity to buy our farm in '99, a year before I was born. He started with 2 cows and then worked his way up to where he is now. And for a first-generation farmer, it's not easy at all. That's why I fell in love with it. My first true memory was the first time we baled straw.
We're gonna cut it and bale it once here and see how it goes.
I think I was 5 years old at the time, and that was really the first time I was like, wow, like this is awesome. My dad owns an excavating business in Columbus with his brother, so he would leave at 5 in the morning, he'd get back at 7:30 at night. So during those times, like, I mean, it'd just be basically me on the farm, and I would handle a lot of that. You're feeding cows in the morning. In the summers, you're making hay. You're harvesting all the crops. In the spring, you're planting everything. Each season brings something different. We raise anywhere from 80 to 100 Black Angus feeder calves. We sell freezer beef to local people around Ohio.
Well, right here, this bin, that's where we store all our corn is in all these bins, and then usually we got oats in that one, oats in the middle too. We'll start the feed grind tractor and grind a little bit of feed.
Everything we feed these cows comes from our farm itself.
Look at the bank barn up there. That's where we keep all our square bales of hay that we grind through that grinder and mix it in with the rest of the corn for the feed.
Once you have homegrown, true piece of meat that we've hand-fed ourselves, we've never had somebody not come back and buy meat from us.
So this is what the final batch and the final grain looks like that we feed the cows.
It's 100% homegrown and safe. We try and keep that just the family farm, the true family farm that's still, I mean, it's a dying breed.
McCord, tall in the pocket, throws into the end zone in traffic. That's caught. That's a touchdown. That's Cade Stover.
I've always wanted to play in the NFL, and I've always wanted to buy a specific farm. I buy my house, like 400 acres, and this farm, it'd be very hard to get me to leave that place once I got it, that's for sure. I just hope and pray that everything keeps working out.
For Makuba to block it down. Milton gonna take a shot wide open and just strutting in is Keaton. Joe Milton does it again.
At 70 yards, if we have to throw a Hail Mary, he's our guy we're putting in the game.
And they will throw it on the final play of the third quarter, and Milton will load it up and fire. Touchdown, Tennessee! Ramel Keaton was naked behind the defense, and Milton put it on the numbers.
Throwing the ball from midfield through the goalposts. It was rather impressive. There you go, toward the end zone. I mentioned he has a big arm. Yep. Touchdown, Tennessee! Keaton from Milton. Aren't you happy for Joe Milton against Ole Miss last year?
Hooker and Milton roommates in college this year. Wide open is Squirrel. Touchdown, Tennessee! 64 yards for the true freshman.
This is by far my favorite mock draft I've done so far. I love every single one of the guys on this, and I think they make us instant contenders. But that's what happens when you study these guys over and over and over again, and you get to know more of them. But I really like this grouping of guys. I don't know if Joe Milton's going to last the end of the 6th round. He was preseason projected around the 5th round, but he's kind of had a little bit of a rough season. He's got natural talent, though, and I think he's the perfect guy that you put behind Fields and you let him study and learn and grow slowly, kind of a Jordan Love type situation, but I think he's got way more potential than Jordan Love. I think Jordan Love is a joke for a first-round pick, but maybe that's just my bias as a Bears fan. But I think he's got a ton of potential, but he's fallen down some draft boards, but he's still that 12th to 15th best quarterback in this draft. Just depends on how many teams are really going to grab a quarterback during the draft rounds. So we'll have to see on that one. But all these guys, I think Darius Robinson is a steal. I think Patrick Paul is awesome offensive tackle to compete there with Braxton Jones, see who could duke it out for the starting left tackle. Every single guy that I put on this mock really makes us tougher, makes us a more solid team, really rounds us out. And it's Ryan Poles building that draft capital brick by brick, as he talked about. That's exactly how the Bears need to do this, brick by brick, not go out and overspend like we did on Tremaine Edmonds. I like Tremaine Edmonds, but I think that kind of went against what we were trying to do. But Poles was trying to solidify his defense through the linebackers, and I love our linebackers, but this is how we do it slowly and over time, is brick by brick with all these types of guys. And I think this is an all-star team. I really think this is a team that would compete with the Lions next year for the division. Okay, so here's a breakdown of the salary cap. After you cut Whitehair and Jackson, we're at about $85 million. Add all the pieces together, and you see we still have about $15 million in cap space left. So the Bears are really in solid position. I really like that we're not overspending still. But if there's another free agent out there that Poles really feels passionately about, we have the room to go out and snag him. So I love this. I love where we're at. I love the pieces we put together. I'll go through now the 53-man roster. I'll kind of just let that roll through. Let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts on this. Let me know the pieces you like or don't like. Hopefully this helps you look at some of the guys that I've had my eyes on. If there's someone you really like that I haven't noticed, put it in the comments. Let me know who you think is someone the Bears could go after that would fit with the Bears culture and with our team well. But I really like this 53-man roster I put together. I would be really excited to see this team compete, and I think they have a ton of potential to compete against the Lions right off the bat, and long-term hopefully put a team together that can get us back to the Super Bowl. All right, again, let me know what you think. Put a lot of work into this, so if you wouldn't mind hitting the like button, subscribing. I'm trying to put more and more content out. I really enjoy doing this stuff. I enjoy following the Bears research, free agency, draft, all that stuff. I love getting into all of it. So love to do some more of it. Let me know what you think. Put your comments down there, and I appreciate you checking out my video. I hope you have a great day. Bear down.